Yesterday, I was preaching in the street, and a fellow came marching right up to me, pointed his finger in my face, and said, "Who the F do you think you are?" Really loudly and nastily. And I thought, ooh, they're not usually as extreme as this. And I said, well, I can tell you who I am. I know who you are. You don't have a effing clue what you're effing talking about. And, well, how are you supposed to respond? And, he went on in this vein for some time. And it was quite a cold day, and I was wearing a pair of gloves. And out of the blue, off on a tangent, he asked me, "How much did you pay for these gloves?" And I said, about £8. And then he just dropped that completely and carried on in the same vein as before, just calling me all sorts of things, peppered with plenty of F-bombs and all that. And after going on like this for some time, he actually, out of the blue, he actually quoted a scripture, John 3:16. And it went something like this. He was struggling with it. "For God so loved the world that he gave his only forgotten Son, that whosoever..." He was just kind of losing there at that point. But the interesting thing is that what he actually said was only forgotten Son instead of only begotten Son. There's the old saying, "Many a true word spoken in jest." Well, it's also true to say, many a true word spoken in error, by accident. And certainly, this was the case here. I mean, he was really angry at me. But, this is what's wrong in the world, especially in the developed world, the technologically developed world. Christ is forgotten. God is forgotten. But that doesn't mean that men are no longer religious beings. Whether we like it or not, we're religious beings. God created us to worship him. So we suffer from a lack of something to worship if we reject God. We still have the God-shaped hole in our hearts. We still need something to worship because that's the way we were created. And it's funny to see the likes of atheists and so on in denial of this fact. They're not realizing that they are just as religious as anyone else when they run around after whatever it is that they are placing their faith in. And certainly they have placed all of their faith in their own ideas. And that's what happens. It doesn't matter what the idea is. We will place our faith in something. Man that is wise places his faith in God. But man that is unwise places his faith in anything else at all. I should point out that he had been drinking. And the thing is that these guys that are under the influence are the ones that show anger towards me. But they don't only show anger. It's more complicated than that. There really appears to be an inward struggle going on with them, mostly. On the one hand, they're really angry at me, but really quite quickly, they can change and just drop the anger completely. But then again, they can switch back into it at the drop of a hat. As we saw with this one, as I've pointed out, because he was really mad. And then out of the blue, he's quoting the scripture, and as he quotes the scripture, he starts becoming more friendly in his tone. But then, before long, he was back to the anger again and demanding that I stop what I'm doing. As if he had some kind of authority. And of course, I had to politely inform him that I couldn't do that. And he ended up marching off in a bad mood.